Hello, friends of TV Agro. It is truly a blessing to be here in this place, especially with those who are connected here. You may be doing your chores, studying, etc. But you took some time to watch this video, and I tell you that you will not regret it, because today we are giving you some very special tips for your pets, for the coexistence at home, etc. So remember, my name is Fernando Peña. I am currently a writer and I am the coordinator of a veterinary clinic called Mateos. You can find us in our social networks. In addition to this, you can find us in Google. You can type veterinary Mateos and there you can find us, and in our contact number, which is 31344683999. There you can find us if you have any questions regarding responsible pet ownership. If you have something special to tell us, you can do it. You can write us here to our YouTube channel on TV Agro and write us what questions you have. Well, today we are going to see a super special topic. It is a topic more than anything else about the tips I should take into account, or the aspects I should take into account to have a pet in a small place. Many times we make the mistake that when we want to get a pet, we don't really think about what aspects should I take into account when getting a pet. Suddenly, if you get a pet for your child's birthday, or you get a pet for fashion, that's where you have to realize that it is important that you have some special points in mind. And this is first of all, space. It is important, because nowadays the trend of humans is that they live in small apartments, in residential complexes, and obviously the trend is that everyone wants to have their furry friend, because this is the generation of no children. So many families have pets, and if they have children they also have pets, and generally they are very small spaces. Space is very important, and before acquiring a pet, first of all think, do I have the space? Am I tolerant to hair? Does it bite the slippers? If I have monster slippers, you have to think that the pet will at some point eat those slippers or the socks. I had a dog named Sasha, and she was very, very emotional, very active, and logically they recognize a space and they start. Their hand is the muzzle. And now I am going to give you an important tip with the pet, and it is that dogs, their fingerprints are their nose. The nose is unique in the world, like our fingerprints. They can be recognized by the fingerprints of the nose, then logically the sense of smell is 20,000 times higher than that of human beings. Then where we realize that space is important, that you are tolerant, that you have sacrifice, because this is, if my pet has shishi at 11 o'clock at night, or at 5 a.m., that's where you can find the purpose of the pet. Because there are people who got active and went out to exercise with them, etc. That is where you have to find and answer yourself if you have the space, the money, because you also have to invest in the medical part, in health, vaccinations, etc. Because when we acquire a pet, it is not like when you buy a new cell phone that comes with 3 cameras, with HD, etc. That comes with instructions. When you acquire a pet, it comes without instructions. That is why it is important that you know how to acquire it or have it if it is a small space. I recommend that, if it is a small space, the tendency is that it is a smaller pet. If it is a furry, a little dog, it should be a breed that, for example, is a pug, or better known as pug, which translates care fist and appears in the movie Men in Black. This dog is very calm, it is active. It can be the Jack Russell Terrier, others like the French Poodle, which is called the Poodle in other countries. Worldwide it is called the Poodle, and there are other companion dogs that are affectionate, and those affectionate dogs can give affection to your children. If you have parents or older adults at home, they can help them to activate their senses, play, laugh, all that is part of having a pet, but also the sacrifice. If it is a small home, I do recommend that it not be such a big pet because they are the ones that suffer the most. Yes, they suffer because the space is so small. They want to play, they start biting everything, they even bite the legs of the furniture. But that is also because it gives them anxiety. So in that case it is important that you have, first, a toy. The game is important, especially in this time where you can take your pet out. You can interact, and after taking it out you can play, have toys where you can put it concentrated. They can interact with a toy, and in addition to this you are part of the game. You become a child. Having a pet is to be a child, is to return to life, because many times one is in the routine of life, work, and what can change one's life? A pet. I also recommend cats, which are spectacular, but why? Because cats don't need to be taken out, they are not as dependent as dogs. Dogs do need more care and attention, but cats don't need as much. The cat, apart from being nocturnal, they can play with a box. Right? I have a friend who has some boxes on the roof for his 3 cats and has some stairs, and he is in love with his animals and is happy. There are animal therapy treatments especially with cats because they activate a hormone of happiness when you pet them. So look at all these benefits, but also analyze it because it is a family decision to acquire a dog, especially because if it is an apartment, much more. If it is a cat, super cool because you can make a gym, give him a special food, and you can count on your veterinarian friend so that if you need advice you can write to us. Then friends of Tvegro here, there is much to give. Remember that we are here to serve you. If you have any questions regarding responsible pet ownership, write to. So, it is important, in addition to what we have talked about, that you can give that home to the one who lost it. In that case, adopting a pet is better, and why? Because they are more grateful. Somehow you saved them if they were living in the street, a dog or a cat. And if you give them a home they are super grateful. So I recommend you to adopt. It really is a more special work. Because it is like that undeserved love. Right? Because by giving that love, that affection is like the one God gives us. It is a love that is special. It is a love that overcomes barriers, and that same love we can pass on to a little animal that can change our life. Another important aspect, if you have a pet in a smaller space, it is important to have a routine for them. The routines for the dog, which is a little more dependent, it is important that before going out you wash your hands. Go out with all the implements for your pet, especially if you are in a residential complex. Because in this place there are more neighbors. The coexistence is joint. That is why it is called that way. That is why it is important to have a discipline, like a schedule. Our furry friends are always waiting for the routine, and this routine is: first you wash your hands, take your pet out with the bag, a little water, and when you come back, what is important when they enter the house? Some people use other liquids such as alcohol and hydrogen peroxide, but don't use that. It is better to use soap and water, because you don't irritate the fleas because they are practically their shoes, so you take better care of them. They do not sweat through the body, through the subcutaneous part because they do it through their paws, that's why. If you notice a dog that has been sitting for a certain time and leaves, you can see the sweat marks. It is important to clean him, but after cleaning it is necessary to dry him well with a dry towel, and if you can with a little dryer to dry the hairs and the flesh of the paws, because if you do not dry him well you can generate fungus or dermatitis, so it is important to take good care of him. So, those are the cares that you have to take into account at the time of the routine and return because they are a little more reduced spaces, but it is good that you can also de-stress going out with your pet. He also de-stresses, burns the energy he has and remember to play. Go back to being a child with your pet, lots of encouragement. Write us if you have any questions, we are here to serve you.